This project is the largest of its kind on the planet, and it's the most unique on the planet as well.
Hello and welcome to Paydirt TV. I'm Dominic Piper. Today I'm joined by Sean Wren and John Price, Managing Director and Non-Executive Director respectively of a new IPO, Richmond Vanadium Limited. Gents, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
I mean, the first question to ask, when you've got a huge IPO, $25 to $35 million, an advanced vanadium project up there in Queensland, is, I mean, how does a project and an opportunity like this come about? John?
Yeah, well, it's been about 7 years in the making when Horizon Minerals had the project and we farmed it out to a technical group who knew everything about vanadium that we didn't. Over that 7 years, a lot of technical work, including a pre-feasibility study, has been completed, and since then the vanadium price has moved from $1 to $2 a pound to $10 to $15 US a pound. So it's a great opportunity to be IPOing the project right now in a commodity that people are getting more and more familiar with as it starts to play a pivotal role in green energy storage.
Sean, obviously, as part of that process, you've led the project so far. What is it about this Richmond Vanadium project that makes it particularly unique?
Okay, yeah. Firstly, this is an oxide vanadium deposit. For people who are familiar with the transition of the gold industry from primary refractory gold to oxide gold, then you know the difference that brings to the vanadium market. Traditionally, all the titanium magnetite is a source for vanadium production. That production process is costly, complex, and technically not very reliable to some extent. And mainly it's cost very high. This oxide vanadium resource, we take advantage of that nature down the roasting, soft rock mining easy, concentration easy, and the processing flow sheet pathway is simple. That delivers a huge financial benefit to the project.
Of course, with any commodity, the technical aspects of a project are important, but just as crucial is that the market is pointing in the right direction, and it's really the case for vanadium, which has really taken off recently, hasn't it?
Correct, yeah. Vanadium traditionally is for the steel industry. They use ferrovanadium as a feed for the alloys. But for the battery market, it's taking up, is playing a very important pivotal role in the energy transition for mega scale, grid scale energy storage. And then that's require a vanadium pentoxide with high purity. And this resource, Richmond vanadium, is essentially perfectly made to produce directly go to battery grade vanadium rather than the steel grade.
John, is that part of the reasoning behind IPOing this project and the company now?
It certainly is. I mean, the great thematic at the moment from federal Australian level and from around the globe is to decarbonise the planet. And we've seen a lot of advertising and information around the EV market and the use of lithium in the EV market. That represent around 5% of global decarbonisation and reduction of emissions. The other 95% is at grid scale. And where the vanadium redox flow battery really comes into its own is scalable, large, renewable energy storage and taking energy off the grid for use when it's not available, so peak levelling and peak shaving. That's the opportune time. It's thematic, it's a critical mineral, it's declared at US level, Europe, UK and Australia as a critical mineral, and it's a green energy mineral, so the timing for us is perfect.
So you're going to raise this amount of money, 25 to 35 million in the IPO, Sean. What is the plan from there? You're undertaking a BFS, so what are the key targets that you've got in that study?
Yeah, we've done the methodological pathway. That's all finalized. All we need to do is all the the whole metrics of the approval process. That part is looked after by Queensland the Coordinator General's office. That project, as you mentioned, being declared as a coordinated project. So the Coordinator General's office have a dedicated team of people helping the company to go through all the government approvals. Then the major other component is engineering designs and drawings. We get the pathway there, so that needs to be translated into drawings for construction.
So what's the plan from here then? The IPO is already open and it closes on the 14th of November. What can we expect to see in the next few weeks and then on from there after the listing?
I think the IPO is closing on the 14th as the regulatory approval, set that date. And then after that, obviously, we settle and finish off all the IPO work. Then with the funding come to the company, we'll strike into the the BFS is already the EIS is already in progress, but all the other components, the BFS will start and targeting to complete by the end of next year.
And for Horizon shareholders, John, it's obviously a great opportunity to see this project carry forward.
Oh, it certainly is, and I think it's been great to see this project come to fruition now. And I think when you look at it at a country level, we're actually making batteries. We're making vanadium batteries in this country, but we're not producing 1 kilogram of vanadium in this country, and we have the third largest resources. This project is the largest of its kind on the planet, and it's the most unique on the planet as well. So we're also looking at value chain driving to end commodity. We don't want to be sending a concentrate on a ship and overseas for buying it back at 10 times the price. We are focused on creating a value chain to final product here in Australia and making sure we have surety of supply for this country and for our allied countries around the world.
And have we seen that resonate with investors then? Have you seen a lot of support for that integrated supply chain thematic?
Phenomenal government support and phenomenal investment support to date. So I think if you look at the dialogue and the narrative that's coming out of state and federal government and with the US and Europe, there's an enormous push for security of supply. We've got to get supply up and away. So from our development decision in December next year, we want to be in construction in 24, and we want to take first mover advantage of being in production in 25.
You mentioned, John mentioned, Sean, a development decision by the end of next year. What is the plan from here for the first 12 months of operations?
The first 12 months will be mainly the BFS, the approval process and engineering design.
Great. Gents, thanks very much. It's a very exciting project and one of the biggest IPOs of the year. So congratulations on putting together a phenomenal investment. Hopefully we can catch up early in the new year to find out if you've made the progress that you've been hoping for.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Tom.